Hello, welcome to this evening time taste challenge. I'm going to do this and then go watch the rest of that pro football fiasco over there and being played in Texas. All right, here is Seagram 7, America's most famous blended whiskey, obviously. It's the best-selling American blended whiskey, introduced in 1934. There's no age statement, so we know the straight whiskey's aged at least 4 years. It's blended at a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 parts grain neutral spirits. They say the finest grain neutral spirits, and 1 part straight whiskey of some sort, more than likely bourbon, but we can't say. It's got a brown glass bottle, which is good. That protects it from light damage. It's got that new Big 7 label. Remember the old had the little number 7, but the Big 7 label from about 10 years ago, the crown. I don't know why it has 7 crowns. It has had 2. From 1934 to 2000, it was owned by Diageo. I'm sorry. From 1934 to 2000, it was owned by Seagrams. And then Seagrams went out of business, and Diageo bought it and has had it since. So it's had 2 owners. It's funny, though. And here's the challenger, Classic Club. American blended whiskey, age 3 years. It says that on the bottle. It's an 80-20 blend ratio, so it uses a lower percentage of straight whiskey, more than likely bourbon, like I said. Can't say for sure. Bottled in Kentucky by IWA Distilling. Now, this thing is kind of confusing on the label because it says they got the write-up, about a whiskey of distinctive character, smooth, rich, fully flavored with a trace of heaviness. Without a trace of heaviness. Proudly blended and bottled in America. So we know it's blended and bottled in America. And it's produced in America because it's American blended whiskey, so it's not imported. Some people think this is Canadian whiskey. No, you're thinking of Seagram's VO. It's got an embossment on the back. It's glass and it's embossed. There's a 7 molded into the glass. All right. It's got this notch on the back to keep it from rolling off the rack if it's on its side on those racks. It says blended and bottled by 7 Crown Distilling Company, Norwalk, Connecticut. So they're saying it's blended and bottled in Connecticut, but they're not necessarily saying that. They're saying it's blended by this company in Connecticut. You see, their headquarters is in Connecticut. So it's a mystery, but we know it's produced in America, probably Indiana. Maybe it's bottled in Connecticut if they have a plant there. But I think it's just offices, and it's brown. It's brown, khaki, or beige. Brown, cream color. That's cream color. Crown. Brown, cream colored, gold, and red. So one of the iconic American whiskeys, as you know. Classic Club, no, it's not iconic at all. I wonder if Seagram 7 is distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. That's what everybody thinks because, after all, Lawrenceburg is the old Seagram's distillery since 1847. It was built in 1840, opened in 1847, and it was a Seagram's distillery until the year 2000. So, yeah. But you see, if they call it American blended whiskey, they don't have to be specific. They just say it's from America. And the U.S. government says, well, you said where it's from, America. So that's how they kind of work around. Now, if they give us specific state, then yeah, okay. If it says distilled in Kentucky, well, it better be from Kentucky. And more than likely it is. Now, this one is specific in a sense. This one says, aged and mellowed in oak barrels, which all whiskey is aged in oak barrels, so that's a meaningless statement. Produced and bottled by IWA Distilling Company Limited, Louisville, Kentucky. So they're saying produced by this company, but are they saying it's produced in Kentucky? Or are they saying it's produced and bottled by this Kentucky who is headquartered in Kentucky? See what I'm saying? Like they're real cagey about the description. So Diageo contract distills with MGP. Oh yeah, definitely. Because there's other products coming from what a lot of people contract with MGP, you know. A lot of people, big companies, middle-sized companies, tiny companies. I poured too much of that. Oh, that's the. I was going to say I poured too much of that Seagram. That's the Classic Club. Well, it's only like a millimeter too much. I'm trying to nurse this Seagram, so that's the best blend that I've got. The best blended whiskey I've got. I'm trying to rest it. I'm trying to be stingy on it. Hold on a second. I should have shut off my phone. I keep saying, let me go back to my live. Let me go back to my live. Okay, so good to see you live again. Oh, thanks, Mr. R. Sorry for that delay, folks. Cheers from Virginia Beach, says Travis Brown. So do most of these liquor companies get their bottles from? Where do they get their bottles from? Oh, the bottles. Oh, honestly, I don't know. I mean, there's companies that produce glass. There's companies that produce plastic bottles or both. So they just contract with them. I know in Texas, Anheuser-Busch has their own glass company. It's called Longhorn Glass. So they make their own glass bottles. So, but that's, you know, everybody got their own setup. Cheers, Ronald, says Daryl. Which Willie, I like the subtle flavor of Seagram 7. I do too. And I don't think Classic Club's got a chance. But let's get on to it because we'll go back to watch that fiasco game. They're about the same shade of chestnut, though, honestly. You can see they're both kind of like chestnut colored, so probably did pour a little bit too much, but yeah, it's too much trouble to get the funnel. I mean, we're talking about a couple little ounces, you know, but I mean, I don't like to pour too much. That's just the truth. That's the truth. Especially with the Seagrams, because I'm trying to save it, you know. I mean, I can go buy more. I understand that, but still, I would rather not buy more. Let's see, I've got half the bottle left. It's good for probably 8 or 9 more taste challenges. Ball has a canning plant in Saratoga, New York. Ball canning, you know, like most cans are from Ball, right? And then they make the glass. They make the jars, right? Ball makes those jars for people put the preserves in those. Yep. Okay. Hello, everyone, says Skoggett. Hello to you. Okay, so let's go fast, but not rush it, but go fast. I don't think it's going to be a real challenge because I don't think Classic Club can handle. I don't think Classic Club can stand up to Seagram 7. All right. I just don't think. It's like that's the premier blended whiskey in the United States. And it's still inexpensive. Like let's look at what are they saying on the website? Seagram 7 Crown blended whiskey is an American icon. That's true. A rich heritage. That's true. A blended American whiskey, true. Carefully blended, probably. Aged in oak, yes, as with all whiskey, meaning that's meaningless. Smooth, sweet taste, yes. Creamy vanilla finish, yes. Approachable and smooth taste stands up against today's biggest shot brands. I don't know what today's biggest shot brands are. Signature drink, the 7 and 7. 7 Up, 7 Up, and 7 Crown. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Total Wine and More. I'm thinking it's probably $14 a bottle. Seagram 7. It's actually $11.99 a bottle. Okay. So, it's not really that different from a low end bourbon. Like, you could probably go somewhere and find Jim Beam for $11.99. Well, you probably won't, but you could. I do know where to find Evan Williams, a 750 milliliter. I know where to go and find Evan Williams 750 milliliters. That's Kentucky straight bourbon. I'm talking about the 3-year age, green label, the kind of obscure 3-year age, green label, charcoal mellowed, sour mash, not the black label, but the 80 proof. I can get that for $9.98. Straight bourbon, $9.98. But that's one store, but I can get it. Okay. Hello, everyone. I bet Seagram's takes the win in this one, says Mr. R. I would think so. You probably win that bet, and I would bet with you. I would not bet against you. Wonder what Seagram 7 mash bill is. Well, we kind of know. In a sense, we know it's 75% grain neutral spirits, which is just probably corn kernels, raw corn, yellow corn, and it's crushed up into grits. It's pulverized corn. And then they distill it, turn it into grain spirits, corn liquor, and they blend it with straight bourbon, probably 25% straight bourbon. But you probably mean, what is the mash bill of the straight bourbon? Oh, I really couldn't say. Because you don't know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? Is it always the same? With a brand like that, probably is. But whose bourbon is it? Is it MGP bourbon, or is it like Evan Williams and they got to deal with them, under the table? Nothing wrong with Evan Williams whiskey. I agree. Hey, Ron, sorry for oversharing, but I have decided to continue my formal education and I have exams this week. I studied and I feel confident. Well, good. Just wanted to share this because I admire smart people like you that are educated. I know about those exams. I'm well aware. It's been a while since I've taken them. All right. But I was confident too because I studied. They told me read 100 pages a day. Well, they gave us a list of all these books. There's like 50 books to read. And besides all the classes you had to take in the notes for the master's degree, and I read every single book. I read 100. I said I can read 100 pages a day, and I can make it. I think if I read 100 pages a day every day, I can make it. So from 89 to 2000, 89 to 92. Sorry, 89, 90, 91, 92. Every day I read 100 pages, and then I took the notes in class and read over them many times. And then so when I took my comprehensive exams, got it. Just one. Okay, so what you got to work for? Okay. Good tips. Thank you. You're welcome. Smells like grain. Oak barrels. Cheers to you, short and stout. Cheers to Australia. The Commonwealth of Australia. Founded in 1901. All right. That was my major history. All right. Yeah, oak, a little bit of char from the bourbon, which I assume they're using, but I can't say it definitively. Corn, yeah, just like standard whiskey, like standard. Let's go over here. I would say about the same. Same. Now, the Classic Club is much cheaper. They don't advertise. You'll never see a billboard for it. You might see it. Seagram's Seven Crown, you'll see it billboard sometimes on a taxi, on a bus, side of a bus. You might see a magazine ad. You'll see internet ads. You don't see a lot of heavy advertising, but you'll see some, a little bit. They got their own Facebook page, and all that. They kind of make posts. Classic Club? No, I don't think so. I read somewhere that Four Roses was the best-selling whiskey in the U.S. from 1933 to the early 50s. Seagram 7 then took that crown until the early 80s vodka craze. That sounds about right. But they had to be a number one whiskey even with the vodka craze. That fluctuates, it might have been Seagram's, then it was Four Roses, then Seagram's, then it might have been Jack Daniels, probably the one that took over. All right, cheers, taste time. The game's starting up, I know. Okay. Sweet corn, a little paper. I kept saying that corn husk on that Classic Club. Like, if you have tamales, they got like they're wrapped in corn husk, not the wax paper like the Hormel canned tamales, but the actual corn husk if you get the tamales from the restaurant, it kind of tastes like that. It's almost like they put corn husks in the blend, not just corn. Yeah, Seagram's in a lot of magazines. A lot. Okay. And I still see it in every liquor store, in every bar. I go to any bar in New Orleans, they got Seagram's, believe me, every bar. And I asked a guy at a restaurant in New Orleans, I saw Seagram's bottle in the bar. I pointed it out. I said, "Is that one popular?" He said, "Seagram's?" He said, "Everybody loves Seagram's. They order that all night long." That's what he told me. Everybody loves Seagram's. They order that all night long. Now he's a bartender. He must know New Orleans. So there's your answer. I'm not saying they order it and do taste challenges and all. They do mixed drinks with it. It's a mixer, but it has a wonderful flavor. This is obviously Seagram's. There's no way this is that and that is this. There's no way I'm confusing the two. It's not possible. I'll tell you why. It's super smooth. There's no papery note. Yeah, it used to be higher proof though. Years ago, it was 86.6 proof. Yeah, it was, and then they dropped it to 80. I don't know why. Jack Daniels, same thing. It was 90. It dropped it to 80, but either it was cheaper that way or people preferred it. They might have done taste studies where consumers actually preferred 80 proof. I don't know the history, but see this one here. It just tastes like a bourbon. Like it's not a bourbon. It's made with bourbon probably, but it's not. Like if you gave this to somebody, they would say, "Oh, what bourbon?" They would probably say, "What bourbon is that?" Like you're tricking them, because it's 75% unaged corn spirit. I'm saying corn. You say it might be rice. Yeah, it could be rice. It could be barley distillate. Could be any grain, but like you think they're going to use an expensive grain when they could get a cheaper one, and they just need a distillate. Think about that for a minute. It's neutral. It doesn't have flavor. Doesn't have aroma. That's the base. The flavor's coming from the bourbon. So they're going to use a good bourbon in it. I know they're using bourbon. It tastes like it. This is not corn whiskey. Uh, could it have flavoring added? It could, because blended whiskey is allowed to have flavoring added. Could it have caramel color added? Could it be this dark because of caramel coloring? Yeah, it could be. I don't know if Diageo does disclosure. I know Sazerac does. You said IWA Distilling. Yeah, I know, but they're owned by Sazerac. IWA Distilling is Sazerac. Okay, so they're good about that. They'll tell you they add coloring. They'll say coloring added. Caramel color, natural flavors added. They'll say it. They'll just say it. They don't care. They got no shame. But it doesn't say that on that bottle. It does not say that. So I'm assuming it doesn't have it. Diageo, I don't know their policy. Okay, because they own Johnny Walker, which is Scottish blended whiskey, blended Scotch whiskey. And people say, yeah, they add caramel color into it. I don't know if they do. I don't know what they do with Johnny Walker. I like the flavor. Would they add caramel color? I don't know. Do you notice much difference between Seagram 7 and Seagram's VO? Yeah, I think strange that they have different ownership now. They do, because Diageo sold VO to Sazerac. Talking about Sazerac. Diageo sold 16 of their brands, 16 brands to Sazerac in 2018. Seagram's VO Gold, which they were killing off VO Gold. Sazerac, I wrote to Diageo. They sent me an email. They said, we're killing off VO Gold. This code, it's gone. But then Sazerac bought it and said, it ain't gone. It's being saved at the last second. So they saved it, and they still make it. I can go to any store around here. They got VO Gold, 8-year age. And now they got Seagram's VO Black, the black from Sazerac. So they thought that Diageo wasn't really doing enough with it. So they really tried to pump it up, make it more exciting. They got the Seagram's VO Apple, the Apple. We know who that's going against. 16 brands. That's right. 16 brands. I could sit here and think about it and probably guess all 16, but I'm not going to do it. But I could probably think of all 16. You never care for Johnny Walker? Oh. Well, you and I can't be friends anymore. All right. I think Rumple Mints was one. Okay, this is the Seagram 7 Crown. It tastes a lot better. Not that this is bad. This is fine. If you see Classic Club, I'd buy it. I mean, if the price is low, I'd buy it, but I wouldn't brag about it. I'd buy it. Yeah, got it right. So I got 15 right and 1 wrong. That's not bad. Was it 15 or 14? It was 13, 1, 14, 1. Yeah, 15 right and 1 wrong. That's not a bad taste challenge series. I got 1 wrong out of 16 taste challenges. So Classic Club, not the greatest thing, but definitely not the worst. VO Gold has a nice bottle with a ribbon on it. I know. I agree. VO Gold and Seagram 7 Crown, they're about even. They're just about even. They're just about even on their price points. Kind of rival. One's from Canada, one's from the USA, but they kind of rival each other. Wham, bam, grand slam, home run. Yep. Yeah, I love that ribbon on the VO Gold. It's so classy. So that's about it. You can see how fast I drank that Seagram 7. You just can't stop drinking. It's so good, Would I have a problem if I got stuck with this one to drink all the time? No, I wouldn't. I don't drink whiskey anyway. I only do taste challenge. Honestly, I never drink whiskey. Like, let me have a drink. I don't drink that. I do the video reviews and the taste challenges. That's it. That's the only time I ever consume whiskey. You say, yeah, but you do those every day. Well, I don't know why you want to be nitpicky about it, but yeah, that's it. So, but to drink it casually on its own, no, I don't do that. If I did do it, I would admit it. Now, do I drink beer casually off camera? Yeah, like I drank 2 Keystone Lights today off camera. Did make a video, Keystone Light. I'm sure people are not that interested in Keystone Light, but it's a very good light beer. Quite a good light beer, and you could save a lot of money with it. I bought the 30 pack for 19.99. I don't know why people are paying extra money for those major brands that aren't any better. I don't understand that, but they will claim it's better, but they couldn't tell it apart in a blind taste test. But look, you do you and pay your big time money, and I'm gonna be me and pay a lot less and get just as good of a product. Uh, could Classic Club be a good substitute for Seagrams? I don't see that. I mean, yeah, it's 15.99. I paid 13.99, but it's 15.99 now at Total Wine and More, and the Seagram 7 Crown is probably 20.99. But I say you pay the extra money. I think you just pay more, you're gonna get more. It's clearly better. I really don't think it's a good substitute. It's good in its own little way, and I'm not regretful for buying it. And I think it's gonna do fine. I got 90% of the bottle left. It's fine, But oh, and they got the Canadian whiskey for 14.99. Classic Club Canadian for 14, and that's a good one too. I got a bottle. It's fine. Seagrams 7. 18. Oh, okay, it's cheaper than I thought. 18.49. Oh, $2.50 more. Oh yeah, $2.50 more, and you're gonna get a huge plastic. If you can tolerate plastic, you'll get a huge plastic bottle of Seagram 7, brown plastic, and it's gonna be way better than the Classic Club. But like I said, Classic Club is it's not a problem. It's good. It's fine. It's probably one of the better cheapo American blended whiskeys I've got, because I got some that are grim. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so yeah, so I got the lights off because I'm about to go watch the game. So I ain't going mad. But yeah, if you're gonna buy an American blended whiskey, Seagram 7 Crown, then you could go to Kessler. Kessler would be a good choice. Classic Club would be a very good choice. Um, that's 3. Um, what's that other one from Jim Beam? The Sunnybrook. Sunnybrook would be a good choice, I think. I can't find it, so it wouldn't be a real choice to me. McCormick. That's pretty common around here, at least toward New Orleans, not in this town. McCormick. Yeah, you could do all right with McCormick, but really, Heaven Hill Quality House, that's starting to get kind of sketchy. It stuff tastes like ethanol, but it's not nasty. It didn't have a bad bite. But Kentucky Dale from Sazerac, well, yes, I suppose you could do all right with that one. All right, well, y'all take care, and I'm going to watch the rest of the game. Let's see. I have. Oh, look at the last comments, and we out of here. Wham bam. Okay. Sorry, Jay. My computer has been kind of slow and all jacked up as late. Yeah, well, you might need to get a new one. I had to do that. Did Rolling Rock ever produce a light beer? Yeah, there was a light. It's called Rock Light. I have the same problem with Canadian Club. I drink one, and before you know it, I've had 3 or 4. Oh no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. If the price is right, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Y'all take care now. Bye bye.